Here is everything Julia Fox reveals about dating Kanye West in her new memoir. In Down the Drain, the model describes her month-long relationship with Ye, who she refers to only as the artist in the book, and how she became his #1 muse for a brief period of time. First, how did they meet? Fox explains on the page that the two linked up after she asked a friend to get Ye's number. She writes that they spent hours on the phone and then met up at a Miami club in the early hours of New Year's Day 2022. Julia recalls that after they talked for a while, Kanye brought her outside while he relieved himself in a parking lot, then kissed her, quote, passionately. She explains that at dinner the same night, Ye asked Fox if she wanted to be his girlfriend, and she, quote, burst out laughing. He asked how she felt about taking their relationship public. She remembers telling him, I think we should wait a few weeks. Fox says in the book that Ye later offered to get her a boob job. And who could forget the pair's matching denim outing at Paris Fashion Week at the end of January? It started off all good, but Julia writes that she and West fought after the Schiaparelli show about each other's traveling companions. The rapper criticized her friends, who, according to Fox, he'd hired as stylists after meeting them in Miami, and she countered by telling him how much she disliked certain members of his entourage. Upon their return to New York, she writes, West stopped answering her calls, and his assistant told her he was on a, quote, month-long phone break. The flames soon fizzled after Fox's February 2nd birthday, and in the book, Julia writes that she informed Kanye over text that she was no longer having fun, and he asked her not to leave him, she says. But then on their next and ultimately last phone call, they fought about her past. After she hung up, Fox says she told her publicist to let it be known the relationship was over. Julia also writes that sometime after their final conversation, West told her over text that they couldn't remain friends unless she signed an NDA, and Fox's team started hearing from him as well. Julia says she then texted him a lengthy explanation as to why she wasn't signing, quote, jack shit. E! News attempted to find a rep for West to respond to Fox's recollections of their relationship in her book, but hasn't heard back. Julia recently gave E! News a teaser of how much of the relationship she would include in the book.
Now, you've been called many things in your life. Now, author is one of them. Tell me about the book.
I'm so excited for the book. I feel like it was just so cathartic to let go of all that, because I feel like in life things happen and you just kind of pretend that they didn't happen and put them away in a shelf in your mind, and that's it. And when you're writing a book, you're really forced to confront those things, So I feel like, damn, it's heavy and it's. And I'm not afraid to be vulnerable. I don't feel shame ever. I'm this is what it is, So I'm curious to see what the reaction will be. But hopefully, I hope that it can be helpful, and maybe other people can be oh, wow, maybe what happened to me isn't so bad, or, or I can deal with it too. And I always say, your pain can be your greatest gift. You can even make it your purpose, and beautiful things can be born out of those awful feelings.
You cover Kanye?
A little bit. But it's 6 pages, and I feel like I went very lightly on it. I'm not trying to have bad blood or anything, it's all in the past.